Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I am Jessica Del Mar. This is the Oneness Podcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking all about the December solstice energy. The December solstice is a powerful portal or gateway that takes us through the end of the year and pushes us into the new year. And in many ways, it carries with it the energy of the new year. And so what came through for this December solstice energy also has a lot to do with the 2024 New Year energy, which I'll talk more about in a separate episode. But for now, I want to share this message that came through for this December solstice. So the first things that came through as I was tuning into the energy of this December solstice were three things. The first thing is a turning inside out. The second thing was a turning water into wine. And the third thing was a transformation through abundance. Now, abundance is a word that's been coming through a lot for 2024. And there's a lot of facets to the energy of abundance that we are being asked to pay attention to, especially as we move into the new year. Spirit is asking us to kind of redefine or really tune into what our definition of abundance is and what the paths towards abundance looks like for us. Because there's very much an illusionary form of abundance as well as a truth form of abundance. And it's time to really kind of decipher our path in between or what's going on within us when it comes to abundance. And so especially over the past few years, it's kind of like asking us to look hindsight as well in terms of our lack versus abundance that we're holding within ourselves in many ways, because it will help us to redefine and fine-tune what that greater truth of abundance means for us and our path moving forward into abundance. So the turning inside out very much brought my attention to these past few years that has been kind of turning a lot of people inside out. It's kind of like it's showing me a vision of holding us upside down and kind of like emptying our pockets and kind of really draining us dry in a lot of ways, depending upon what we're each kind of going through. But it's trying to teach us, it's trying to show us kind of the opposite of abundance in many ways in order for us to realize the extent and expansion into abundance. It's hard for a lot of people to understand this, how that works, but opposition serves us in so many ways. It goes back to the saying of, you don't know what you truly want until you know what you don't want, right? It's in that energy, that strong energy of knowing what you don't want, that you immediately know what you do want. And that's the energy that we're all really trying to integrate, especially as we move into 2024, because 2024 is asking for us to truly strengthen what it is that we want. And if we look back in hindsight over the last couple of years, we are most likely able to pinpoint a lot of different areas, things that we know we surely do not want. And so we really want to strengthen our ability to know what we do want based upon that looking back in hindsight. So again, this past year was a turning inside out for many people, but it was a necessary process for what can be described as the next thing, which was turning water into wine. In other words, a major transformation in what could have otherwise been impossible has and is occurring in order for you to become aligned with all that you have been asking for. Many of your transformations occur on the wings of old wounds, while many other transformations occur within an old womb, meaning we want to especially highlight the necessary ancestral clearing and healing occurring within the web of these past few years, especially for women, because a lot of that ancestral healing occurs within the womb, the creative center, the birthing center, especially as we move forward and as our lens or perception or outlook is now turning forward instead of backwards. There's more of a focus on the birthing forward and the transformation of birth going forward. And so there's a huge turnover or transformation when it comes to that. But we also have to understand that in that transformation or in that turnover, a slowing down occurs. It's kind of like the train going 75 miles per hour in one specific direction. And in order to sort of abruptly change direction, the train has to slow down in order to go into a new direction. And so there is a slowing down of, especially if you want to think on a bigger scale in terms of birth, there's a slowing down while especially women, and men of course too, but women really hold that birthing center. That is turning over, that is shifting, that is also healing, that is also clearing a lot of ancestral trauma so that it's not passed down onto future generations. The clearing of old wounds and ancestral trauma is necessary for bringing about change, but the transformation is not found in the healing, but in the process of releasing. When there is a main issue in the body, the process of healing includes a release of what no longer serves. But most people want the healing so badly that the attention to the in-between goes unnoticed or glossed over. You must begin noticing how the path of your healing is not in the healing, but in the release, the surrender, and the simplicity of letting go. That is where healing is uncovered and divine faith is strengthened. Most people strive to fix a problem and desire to go on with the fixed problem as quickly as possible. To notice a problem and have to sit in the problem until it's fixed or healed is the journey in between, but it's also what is often excruciatingly slow and terribly painful. While many people give themselves less credit where credit is due, every person is responsible for shifting their life. There is no one person who does it better, only people who understand or don't understand the process. Have you ever thought about what abundance means to you? Most people desire financial abundance so that they can pay their bills or buy whatever they want at any given time. They can buy nice homes or cars or things. They don't have to struggle to put their children through college. Wouldn't life be so much easier with financial abundance? And so people concentrate on attaining more money, more wealth, and more success in order to fulfill those desires of a better life. But abundance is more than just finances. We have been led to believe that abundance equals money, but the more that we feel abundance and wellness everywhere in our lives, not just our finances, but everywhere, then the more that every part of our life can thrive in abundance and wellness. The process towards that wholeness of abundance and the wholeness of wellness exists not in the attainment of these things, but in the release of what keeps us from it. However, there is a step that often goes unnoticed in the process of trying to attain more abundance. It is often birthed through the release and letting go. And this step is ingenuity. Ingenuity being a powerful word that came through for this December solstice. Ingenuity is the quality of being clever, original, inventive, imaginative, and resourceful. Ingenuity is a cultivation of thought and action that brings about change. The willingness to become something different in the midst of that change is what enables our adaptation to change. We must utilize our thoughts and actions to move with the flow of change rather than against it. And it is our ingenuity that grants us options, ideas, solutions, potentials, and paths of possibilities to move out of one situation and into another. To release one thing in order to embrace another thing, to make something happen when we feel stuck, etc., etc. Ingenuity is necessary for the reception of abundance of any kind, because you must be willing to step out of the limitations of the mind that keep you in a state or thought of lack. Ingenuity is about thinking outside of the box and breaking free from the molds of limitations, Not necessarily because it is binding, although it is, but because there is always more. Our curiosity is what leads us into what is more, without the bondage to what we are leaving behind. This is not only creation through pure expansion, but also abundance through pure curiosity. To transform who we are from lack into abundance also means that we transform our ideas and thoughts of lack and abundance. You see, abundance is not just about financial abundance, but abundance itself is an energy that is always in motion, which therefore expands motivation. Lack is simply an energy that has lost motion, which therefore lessens motivation. Ingenuity is cultivated in the flow of abundance and utilizes the energy of abundance to amplify and expand the very wave it rides. Abundance is a birthright and motivation for expansion. Curiosity helps lead us there, and ingenuity helps us create new things within the realm of abundance that we expand ourselves into. We want to share with you a 3-step process of transformation that will offer you a distinct change of energy as you move into the year ahead. This is the process of transformation through abundance. This process will also help you get more in tune with the energy of abundance and how you are holding that energy of abundance within yourself and within your life. So step 1, to transform through abundance, you must first take a look at where the energy of abundance flows in your life and where the energy of lack thrives in your life. It is here that you will find hidden doors that keep these two energy channels from coinciding. You see, lack and abundance exists as two very different energy sources, like oil and water. They exist in the same space, but are ineligible to mix. Instead, they act as opposing or conflicting energy in our world. When we hold this type of conflicting energy, it makes it harder for our sense of self to exist in either direction. Therefore, a stagnation or struggle occurs in between. Transformation occurs when we decide that we want abundance and are willing to release lack. But in order to release lack, you must be willing to see where lack has taken you throughout your life. Step 2, to transform through abundance, is that you must be willing to try new things. Your growth is found in what is calling to you, but also seems scary to do. When we willingly hold ourselves back from exploring the world that is inviting us in, then we grow our inner sense of lack. But if we go onward into the world and embrace new experiences, despite how scary they may be, then we are growing our inner sense of abundance. This is also the step where our ingenuity grows, because taking chances, following our curiosity, and exploring new things keeps us both grounded in the body and light in the mind, so that new ideas, interests, and initiations can take place, growing the way that we move through life from paths that may be predictable into paths that are completely unpredictable but open for change. Step 3, to transform through abundance, is that you must be willing to move headfirst into your struggles and pain. While it seems counterintuitive, we must be willing to see ourselves for who we are. When we are not okay, it's okay to be in that space and fully see ourselves in that space. We must be willing to journey into these often uncomfortable spaces, because it's often in these painful spaces that we find hope and faith. While it may seem that the journey into our pain can only hold us back or keep us from moving forward, we must understand that the journey through it, no matter how long it takes, is the catapult towards an idea or a moment of clarity that was once being held back because of the uncertainty within our pain and suffering. We enlighten our ingenuity as we deepen into our pain, as we deepen into understanding of our pain. It's like a light bulb that gets brighter because we're willing to free ourselves from our own inner bondage. In the presence of our original blueprint, we are given a gift of true insight. And that gift of true insight is this: that following the flow and clarity of our curiosities ultimately grant us the reasons for our inner abundance. In other words, everything that we are stripping away, remember the turning of ourselves inside out, the hanging upside down, emptying our pockets, draining everything that we have. That process, although it may be hard to conceive of, is a process of returning back to our original blueprint. It's the process of refining who we are based upon who we came here to be. It's a process of reconnecting back to our inner source, our inner child, our innocence. And so the closer we get to that, our original blueprint, the more clarity we're offered. And this clarity gives us more glimpses into deeper insights, into deeper intuition, into deeper knowledge, into deeper understanding of who we truly are and what we came here to do and to be. And so in reference to abundance and our journey with abundance, as we become more in presence with our original blueprint, our innocence, our inner source, that true insight is showing us all of these different reasons for our inner abundance, why we want abundance, what abundance means to us, versus all of the false illusions of what we thought abundance was, or that path that we thought that we were following towards abundance, but ended up being a false path of what we thought abundance was. And so this is a shift of the clarity of what we know abundance to be, and shifting our path a little bit to follow the clarity of our abundance, the truth of our abundance, rather than the illusion of what we thought abundance was, or rather than what we thought abundance to be. And in the glimpse of abundance through the lens of clarity, our reasons for it are never to buy new things or to have as much as we want, but rather our reasons for abundance is to be free and bound less to the things that weigh us down. Our reasons for abundance is the feeling of weightlessness and to be carefree enough to allow our inner child room and space to fully be without the suffocation of all of the ways that we keep ourselves cuffed to the forces that become our lack. Abundance is not a having of things or a collection of things, but a freeing of the things that we already have that bind us. Abundance is the feeling of the crushing weight being released and a full, effortless breath finally being inhaled. Abundance is the aroma of all of the things that you desire, not because you want them to hold on to, but because you know that life would be even easier within their presence. Abundance is not an excess of things, but an ingenuity of all that you have brought to life. That's so powerful regarding this insight and clarity of what abundance is. Abundance is not a having of things, but a freeing of the things that we already have that bind us. Abundance is the feeling of the crushing weight being released and a full, effortless breath finally being inhaled. Abundance is the aroma of all the things that you desire, not because you want them to hold on to, but because you know that life would be even easier within their presence. Abundance is not an excess of things, but an ingenuity of all that you have brought to life. So this is not only the energy that opens with this December solstice, but is also the energy that welcomes us into the year of 2024. And so a lot has been coming through about abundance that I'm going to be sharing hopefully within the next couple of episodes. And that will activate the flow of energy of 2024 within us all. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening in. I want to thank each and every one of you for all of your support throughout this past year of 2023. I know it was an intense year for many of us, and I'm so thankful that we are on this ascension journey of understanding, clarity, and oneness together. If you'd like to read the written transmission to this podcast episode or any podcast episode, be sure to sign up for my newsletter list. I'll post the link to my newsletter in the description of this episode. You'll receive all the written transmissions and so much more straight to your inbox. Thank you again for being here. I'll see you in the next episode. Happy December solstice. Oneness, love, and peace be with you.